right, y'all already know what time it is. Come on, We Shine Media Spotlight, because tonight, you know what I'm doing. I'm already getting ready to interview our next guest, who is the co author of the anthology Her. Unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable. So, I'm sharing the broadcast. I'm getting people to come tune in, sharing with the ladies so they know we are here. And I need you to do the same thing. Come in and tag somebody, share it to your page, share it to a group, because this right here is so powerful. These ladies have came on and they have shared some nuggets, some tips, some gems that can help you if you're going through in your life and you're in the process of becoming who her is for you. Because it is different. I mean, we all say we're becoming her, but our journeys are not the same. Our stories are not the same, but everybody has a unique story to tell. And so we want you to tap in, tune in, and be a part of what we're doing here as we talk to all of the authors of this amazing anthology. So we're on week number 4, and this is day 2. And we go every week, but we're doing a special broadcast tonight because typically we come on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. But hey, we flipped it up for you today, baby. So I need y'all to get right, get ready, go and get you something to sip on so you can be ready to pay attention to this awesome interview, because I have a very special author on here. She's getting ready to come and share her story with you. So let me share this out to one more place, and then I'm going to be ready for us to get down and get to talking about becoming her. Right? So let me go ahead and bring my special guest on for tonight. It is none other than the Tina Wynn, everybody. Honey, Tina Wynn-Bridges. Yay! Now you're on mute, so get off of mute so you can tell everybody, hey, what's happening?
Hey y'all.
Yes, we are super glad to have you here. And what I've been doing since Miss Doris introduced the new Becoming Her song, we wanted to go ahead, and play it for the audience because everybody doesn't get a chance to hear it. So, want to hear it? Here it goes.
Hello world. How are you guys? Nice to meet y'all. So my chapter is when life knocks you down. Um so pretty much it's when life is just hitting you at every angle, and when you are determined that you're not going to be beat by life, and you just don't know what else to do, and you don't know which other way to turn but God. And you're at that but God moment, and you're just determined that you're not going to give up.
Mm, that's good. That's good, because that is the essence of her. When we say unshakable, unbreakable, and unstoppable, you have to be determined to not give up, no matter what life throws your way. Did it take you a while to get to that point, Tina?
um So, without going into too much detail, I was at a point where I had experienced back to back deaths. I had lost my sister, then lost my son. And in the process of losing my son, my husband had to decide between saving my life or saving my son's life. And the grief that it put on him was enough to make me decide that I was going to fight for my own life, because I realized that it took a lot out of him. After he decided that he was going to save my life, he stopped living for himself.
Mm.
And I said, we can't have this. So I had to then pray for the both of us. And it was through my prayer life that he began to start to pray again. Because without one of us praying, there was no prayer going on in a household. So I had to be that vessel to say, I am going to pray over the both of us. And it made me realize that there was no spirituality going on in my house. Like, we lost hope somewhere along the line. It's like,
Mhm.
God saved me for what? For me to just be alive? No, he didn't save me for me to just be alive without hope. He saved me for a purpose. It's like where
Right.
we were waiting for some sort of miracle to happen when I was the miracle.
Mm. That's powerful to understand that, because I think a lot of people don't see themselves as the miracle. What I want to
Yeah, it's like we
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, no, no. I was going to say, go ahead, because let me just let everybody know it is a delay. So, we'll take time to make sure that everybody hears. So just understand it's a little technical delay, but that's okay because we're going to get through this. So go ahead, Tina. I was talking about being the miracle.
So I had to realize, in my process, I read the book of Job, and I would, as I was reading, we focus in on everything that Job lost.
Hmm.
And for the first time in reading that book, something came clear to me, that instead of focusing on everything I lost, I came to a place of acceptance of where I was in life.
Mm.
And I think that that's what God wanted me to get out of everything that I was going through. He didn't want me to focus on the pain. He didn't want me to focus in on the losses, on the grief. He wanted me to be comfortable and accept where I was, so that I can use the pain for my purpose of helping heal others. So I had to accept where I was, so that I can be able to use that as my pillar of strength to help others who are stuck where I once was.
Wow. I'm going to read a piece of your story that lines up with that. You said, I use everything that has been that she's been through to shape the world around her. Sharing my experiences, strength, and hope with others helps me to understand what a life without Christ could look like for me. I now take a daily reflection of myself, fully rewinding my tape to the beginning. I do not look back on my past with remorse, but I use it as a roadmap to get where I am going. You must always remember you are in the driver's seat of your life. So it is up to you whether or not you reach your destination. We cannot pour into others without first pouring into ourselves. Pouring into you requires a lot of self reflection and honesty. You must go before God in your most vulnerable state. Talk about that.
So when I think about where I'm driving my life to and where I'm headed, um you have to realize that you can't, when you end up in certain places, it's because that's where you know life is about choices, and we choose we can choose to do one of two things with our pain. We can choose to do one of two things with where we decide to lead our lives. We can go A or we can go B. God gives us that choice. We have had that choice since the beginning of time. I choose to use my pain for a purpose. Being in the driver's seat of your life means that if you don't end up in the direction that you chose to go, you can't blame that on no one but yourself. If you give someone else the keys to your car and they lead you down the wrong road, that's not their fault. That's your fault. You gave them the keys to your car. That's your car. You gave them the keys and now they drove you the wrong way. You can't blame them for that. So that's a lesson that I had to learn in life, that only I control where my life is headed. I used to give people the keys to where my life was headed, and then when my life didn't head where I wanted it to head, I blamed everyone but Tina. So in writing that, I learned that I own my life. I own where my life is headed. I own the direction to my life. And that I have to put God first and allow Him to line my life where I want it to go. You know, in that sometimes where God is leading me is not always where I want to go. We want what we want because we're that's what we want for our life, but sometimes everything that I want is not what God wants for me. And sometimes God wants me to go one way and I may want to go another way. And I had to learn how to follow God's direction for my life and not Tina's direction for my life.
Oh, that's powerful because it takes a lot. And hopefully, are you hearing me a little clearer since I switched over?
Yes.
Okay, good, good, good. So, Sparkle said you gave them your keys, and the reality is for a lot of people, we're in a microwave society, and Burger King has coined the phrase, have it your way. But we forget that we are spiritual beings in a physical body whose goal is to glorify God in all that we do because we're His creation. So it has to be His way, it has to be His will, and we have to yield to that and surrender to that. But the world makes you feel like it's all about you and what you want to do.
Do you know, to surrender yourself to another person takes everything inside of you? And it was by losing, I had to lose parts of me. Had I not lost my sister, had I not lost my son, had I not lost my home, had I not lost my car, all of these material things that I was idolizing, because God said He's a jealous God. I don't want nothing before me.
Right.
See, I didn't realize that I was idolizing material things until I lost everything. See,
Mm.
because sometimes we're so blinded by the world and we're so blinded by all of these things because we just be living life and we don't realize because life makes these things so comfortable and so glitterous and so glamorous that we don't realize that we're putting these little frivolous things before God. But
Mm.
it took him taking all of this stuff away from me to get my attention, for me to realize that I needed him more than my soul desired to need him. And it took him stripping me of everything that I loved and that I desired and that I put before him. Because he says every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. And it took him taking me and stripping me of everything for my soul to be completely naked, for me to cry out, Father, I need you. Where are you? Come to me. Show me what it is that I am doing wrong. Draw me closer to you. Draw me nearer to you. And it was in my weakest, gravest moments that I was able to hear him clearer than it's not like I didn't have a relationship with him and
Right.
like I didn't talk to him and I didn't know him, but I know him now better than I have ever known him. And it was through my grief and through my pain and through my loss and through my suffering that I am able to now understand him. See, it's a difference between knowing someone and understanding someone. I understand why he closes certain doors. Why, when I am expecting that yes and he tell me no, I don't pout anymore. I don't get upset anymore. I don't get mad and stop reading my Bible and stop praying and pout my feet. Cause sometimes when we get no, when we hear no from God, we get mad and we don't want to pray no more. We
Right.
don't want to we stop doing the things that we used to do daily to God because we didn't get the answers we were looking for. Now when I hear no, I'm okay with that. You're not ready, Tina. Not yet, Tina. It's not for I have learned such patience in this process
Mm.
because I know now that what's for me is for me and what's not is not.
Woo, honey. Sparkle said, yes, Tina, yes. Because it takes a level of maturity to get to where you are now. And when people say, I love God and use me, and I surrender all, they say it, but how you walk and how you talk don't always match up. It takes maturity to say, God, if it's, I either have your yes or your no, either way, I'm going to be good. I'm going to have a lot or a little. Either way, I'm good. Not my will, but your will. And I'm good. Sparkle said that's powerful because rejection can be redirection.
How could I be upset at anything? And I'm sorry to get emotional. I'm just passionate about it. How could I get upset at anything that he produces out of this life when this life is not mine? It's this life is borrowed. How am I upset? He gave it to me for me to go out so he could know what it's like to have these experiences in the flesh. All I am doing is enacting experiences for him to give him glory, to come back and share my story. This is so much deeper than me that I can't even put it in words properly.
Mm-hmm.
You will have to know to know. So how could I be mad at anything that comes from this life? I
Oh,
have to accept it.
yes.
I have to just accept it. It is what it is. This life is not mine. I'm in borrowed flesh with a borrowed spirit on borrowed time.
Woo.
I mean,
Baby,
it's so
this is
much
next
deeper than me.
level. This is a next level conversation, Tina, because for a lot of people, They can't grasp that with the mind to say that what you think is yours is not yours. Not the child, not the home, not the husband, not the job, the car. None of those things actually belong to you because, as God says, you can't make the sun come up. You can't
No,
make a flower pop up out the ground. You may plant a seed, but it's not you who is allowing it to come up. You
we are
can't
here
say
on
to the
grace and
rain, I
mercy.
need you to rain right now. You have zero control over what happens. We think we have control, but the reality is we do not. Until we can learn that level, and Cynthia said Jesus, Natasha says amen, Sparkle says next level elevation, being able to get that in your head and understand it and be okay with it, and know that when you say for God I live, for God I die, in him I have my being. That's all that's deep.
See, people get me confused because they think that I don't have pain. They think I don't have sorrow. They think the problem is feelings are to feel. That's all that's it. People get all caught up in doing more with their feelings than what they're supposed to do with them. All feelings are designed for is to feel. You're supposed to feel them and move on. Once you get caught up with trying to do more with your feelings than feel them, and you start trying to juggle them around, that's where the dilemma comes into play. Feel what you're going to feel, know what you're feeling. That's what the key, essential part is, know what you're feeling. And that's where I struggled. I didn't know what I was feeling at one point. I didn't know how to distinguish my emotions. I didn't know how to properly label my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't know how, you know, I was tuning into the Empowered Morning Show and I noticed you guys are talking a lot about boundaries. And I had this conversation with someone, and I'm like, people make boundaries so difficult when it's very simple. Boundaries are for you to uphold. Boundaries aren't for someone else to respect or someone else to uphold. Boundaries are in place for you to uphold. If you don't respect your own boundaries, how do you get mad at someone else for disrespect? That's not that person's job to respect your boundaries. It's for you to respect your boundaries. You made them. How do that person know you made a boundary if you, I mean, maybe I'm an overthinker and I think too far into stuff. So maybe that's my issue. But you know, it's very simple. Life is so simple. I guess I tune into my spirit a lot because I've had so many spiritual moments where God has wrapped his arms around me. Someone said to me the other day, I think I know Jesus. And I said, wait, this is where we have to stop the conversation. Because if you think you know Jesus, that's the problem. You have to know that you know Jesus. If you don't know that you know him, I can't engage in this conversation with you any further because see, I know that I know Christ.
Yes.
And I don't talk to people. I don't engage. I don't allow people to challenge my relationship with Christ. I don't debate that with people. I don't go back and forth with people about it. Your
Mm-hmm.
relationship is your relationship. And that's where we end this with a hug and a friendly goodbye because I don't go back and forth. I don't draw the. You have to know what you know, what you know, and your relationship has to be your relationship, and that's the best advice I could give people when it comes to Christ.
Woo. Sparkle said it's you're not reading into it too much. It is your wisdom that is showing. And she said about self-respect and self-awareness to teach it. Because the reality is for a lot of people, we go through life with an expectation from everybody else of what they should be doing without putting the same accountability to ourselves. And so when you start getting angry and upset at other people for how they do you, you treat people, you teach people how to treat you. You allow people to do whatever they do. And if you, like you say, stick around, that's not their fault because you did. That's your fault because you had a choice. And life is about choices. I want to read a piece that you said. Um, when we forget to put ourselves first, we end up self sabotaging ourselves. I did. That is until a stranger came and started testifying to me one day. Self awareness is essential. If I were not paying attention or listening, I would have missed what God was saying to me in that moment. God sends real angels on time, on purpose, for purpose. Let's talk about that.
Mm. Whew. Um. So, um, shortly after, my last incarceration, I was at my rope's end, and I was having these visions, and I couldn't get the image of my sister, of me cleaning my sister's blood out my head. I couldn't get the image of my son out my head, and everything in me just kept saying, walk in front of traffic, walk in front of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the vow that that's what I was going to do. And just as I was going to do it, this stranger came up to me at the bus stop, and she just started sharing her life story with me.
Mm-hmm.
And as she started sharing her story with me, it was so similar to all the things that I've been through. And I don't know why, as she started sharing her story with me, I started telling her my story, and things just started seeming easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, but we sat there for over an hour right at the bus stop, at a New York City bus stop, just sitting there talking. But by the time we finished talking, I took my behind in the house and I started praying.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of me praying, I heard God tell me it was going to be okay. And the next day, I got the call for my housing voucher. Um, so everything just aligns itself the way it's supposed to be. But I say that to say, normally Living in New York City is weird. Normally, when I'm not going to call the lady a bum, but normally when you're homeless and a less fortunate person comes up to you, most people shy away from them.
Right.
But me being in that situation myself, it didn't make me frown upon her. It didn't make me look at her no type of way. I'm in the same situation you in. I'm not as less fortunate as you are, but who am I to turn my face down to you? So although she reeked, although she everything about her was just completely off, I sat and I listened and I engaged in conversation with her. And it was a reason God set that woman next to me to talk to me. And it taught me in that moment, never judge a book by its cover.
Right.
You know, because most people, they look at you if you don't fit a certain criteria.
True.
You must match up to, and it's like, what does God look like? And in that moment, it made me think, what does God look like? If God came and sat next to you today, Tina, would you know what he looked like? You could be pushing an angel away. You could be pushed. So it made me never want to treat people a certain type of way again, because you never know who you're pushing away, who you're treating a certain type of way. Like, who said God had to be all dolled up in riches and royalty? Like, it just opened my eyes to life. It made me realize we're all one blood, one spirit, one, we're all just one, and you have to treat people with more compassion, with more love, more empathy. It's what God would have wanted for each and every last single one of us. And
Right.
it's just, it's less it's disheartening that more people don't realize that. But
It is. It is because the reality is everybody goes through something, and more money doesn't make you better. Living in a big house doesn't make you better. Living on the street doesn't make you worse, because anybody can teach you anything. Anybody can pour into you based off of what they've been through. You just have to have a receiving mind and be open to hearing what you need to hear, because like you said, you don't know who's pouring into you. You don't know who God sent to help you.
correct.
And a lot of times we push away. You know how they say, you say, God help me, Holy Spirit help. And then but it doesn't show up the way that you think it does. So you push it away. You don't want it because it doesn't look like what you think it should.
Right.
But that could be the very thing that's meant to save you, that's meant to help you, that's meant to take you to the next level.
Right.
In your bio, it says giving back and providing quality care to her clients is Tina's main priority in life. Tina has hosted the You See Me podcast and co authored several anthologies for the last couple of years. Tina spends most of her time uplifting and encouraging others to be the best version of themselves possible through daily self reflection and gratitude tools. After years of going through grief and overcoming other challenging obstacles of life, Tina focuses on God, self love, and living a spiritual lifestyle. Tina is now on a journey of self improvement through daily meditation and a powerful prayer life.
Yes.
Today, I talked to Ashley and we talked about prayer. How has prayer changed? Tammy came on and said prayer changes things. How has prayer changed things for you?
Prayer changes everything for me. What would my life be without prayer? It's so funny you say that, because I was at work today praying, and my boss walked in and she's like, "Tina, is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just praying, you know." So I pray all day, every day. Is as soon as I open my eyes in the morning, you know, most people reach for their phone, most people jump up to go to the bathroom. As soon as I open my eyes, the first thing I'm doing is saying thank you, Jesus, because I'm alive. I took a breath. Today people don't know what that means to me. I'm not going to go into that, but to just be able to take a breath means everything to me. I've lost so many people in the last several years, that to just take a breath, I'm saying a prayer. To be able to take a clean shower, I'm saying a prayer. I'm grateful for clean water, um for food, for clothes. So prayer changes everything for me. I pray about everything because, like I said, I used to want things Tina way, and I realized, Tina, this is what you want. Have you asked God? Is that what God want, or is that what you want? Because see, sometimes these little voices in my head, and I am a little crazy, but I'm not crazy.
Hmm.
I say that in the best way possible. For those who understand, understand. But I be wanting what I be wanting, and that's not what God wants. So I be having to go to God, like, God, is that what you want? Because I know that I get a little crazy and I get a little controlling, and this is what I want. So I have to really talk to God, and then it's not only talking to Him, I have to sit and listen and wait for a response. And
Mm-hmm.
it's that waiting process that gets me, y'all. I'm still working on that. Because I'm not
But I love
perfect.
you though, because for a lot of people, we want what we want right now. We don't want to wait on it. We don't want to go through the process. We want it to be like, sparkle laugh every time. And I'm like, we want to be able to be like a genie in a bottle and blink our eyes and do our little thing and boom, have it. And God is
It's
saying,
that waiting process that gets a lot of people, because people think that, yes, God is a miracle worker, but when they hear miracle worker, they think that the minute they open their mouth and pray, that bam. And don't get it wrong. Sometimes as I'm praying, yes, he miracles is working as we're praying. And sometimes, yes, in the midst of my prayers, answers are coming, but it really doesn't work that way per se. It is, it's not some genie in a bottle that you're just gonna pray and things is just gonna voila happen. No, it's a process to this, and if you're not putting work into your prayers, then it, it's a whole process to this whole thing that people really just skip over. And I, I don't know if it's safe to say it sickens me, but it does. And
mhm,
because it's just like, if it was that simple, honey, y'all don't know who Quita used to be.
okay,
If it was a
put it in
shortcut, I would have took it a long time ago. Like,
right,
there's no shortcut. It
right,
becoming her is a real thing. It took work to become her. Like, honey, I'm not here just cause. Like, this was a process. This y'all can y'all look at me for 1 second? Let's just pause, because this took work. This is work that y'all are looking at. This took
what you
therapy.
say this,
This
honey,
took
this
tears.
baby.
Y'all know how many boxes of tissue and Kleenex and rolling around in my floor and just throwing my hands in the sky. But guess what? She ain't never give up. She ain't crumble. She unshakable. She
Yes,
unbreakable.
yes,
She unstoppable. What
yes,
else is she? She's still here to talk about it. That's
still,
what she is. But this took work. This is a process. So I could sit here and really say she has became her because I put that work in. I didn't take shortcuts. There is no shortcut to Christ. If
ooh,
it was, Honey, I would have did it a long time ago. I would have been the first one in line with my
Exactly.
Groupon.
Exactly. What you say? Stop letting people fool you because there is no shortcut to what God has for you. He says, I
You
know the
must
I have.
pray. And it's not, sorry, it's not just about praying, guys. You must believe what you are praying. You know how many people I know pray all day and don't believe an ounce of what it is that what are you praying for? Why? Just stop praying. Just stop praying, because if you don't believe what you, like, wholeheartedly believe what you are praying, then why are you what are you praying for? Just because it sounds good? Because they told you got to pray, right?
Mm,
No, that's not why you praying. You're praying because you believe it. And if you don't believe it, just stop praying. That's my advice.
period. Period. Baby, that's a drop the mic moment because for so many people, you do what you think you're supposed to do, not what you know to do. And like you said, if you don't know if you have a relationship with him, then you need to change that in order to truly believe, in order to truly have faith. And Miss Brenda said, honey, this is blessing my whole soul tonight. I'm gonna go back up here and catch sparkles because I know you may not be able to see it as I'm pulling it up. But she said, I have always respected you. But this interview has made me put more respect on your name. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, turning your pain into purpose.
Oh.
Yes. You know, I love when we talk about honesty and transparency and vulnerability because a lot of people feel like that's weakness. What would you say to somebody who tells you that they feel like that's being weak?
That's I feel like being transparent is the best thing that I could have ever done with myself. I walked around and allowed people to try to tell me who I was for so many years.
Mm,
Never allow anyone to tell your story for you. You are the author, the director, the producer, the actor, the star of your story. No one can tell your life better than you. And the authenticity of your story makes you who you are.
mm.
Never be embarrassed of anything that you have been through in life. Everything that you have been through makes you you. Who are you without the things that you've been through?
That's powerful. You know, I think, Tina, you know, when people read your chapter, they would never believe the person sitting in front of me has been through all of that. And you shared a good bit of it now, but just to even read it is even different. You know, about in that chapter, grief and the processes and stages of grief. People tend to think that you can just get over it. Or are you still, you know, you still dealing with that? You still grieving? Share a little bit about the stages and the processes of grief and how you have to go through that to get to the other side.
Oh, grief is a lifelong process. I lost my mother, let's say it's been about 23 years, and I still grieve her. Um,
Mm-hmm.
where my sister and my son is more recent, and I'm still grieving them. So grief is a lifelong process. One minute you're happy, one minute you're sad, one minute you're angry. It goes in stages, it goes in cycles. And I touched a little on that in my chapter, because you go through denial, you go through bargaining, wishing that you can have the person back. You go through all these different stages of grief, and they go in cycles. The key to it is to deal with it feelings. Allow yourself to feel, label your emotion, deal with the emotion. The problem is when it arises, deal with it, face it head on, allow yourself to process it and move on from it. Learn how to cope with it. You will never fully get over it, but you learn better how to cope with it. And that's what I'm doing. I learn how to cope with these feelings, because you hear people say, oh, you'll get over it. No, you're never going to get over it, but you learn how to cope with it. You learn how to live with it. You learn how to not become enveloped in it, where it doesn't drown you, where when these feelings arise, you say, oh, I know this feeling, this is familiar, I've been here before, but I know what to do with it. I know how to deal with it. I know how to face it, so that when these feelings keep coming up, you they don't swallow you. See, when I lost my sister, it was familiar to me because I already knew, okay, her body is gone, but her spirit is still with me, because this is a familiar place. And although it took my breath away and I felt like my whole world had stopped, I didn't allow it to let my world stop. And then losing my son, oh my goodness, that's a whole nother level of pain. A whole, if anybody on here who has lost a child, that's a different type of pain that my heart was not ready for. But again, that's where my prayer life comes into play. You have to trust in what it is that you are praying, even though my flesh and my heart was telling me that this is unbearable and I'm not going to get through it. I had to trust and know and believe God can do all things. He strengthens me. He's going to get me through this. And I had to continue to pray, and I had to believe what it was that I was praying. And even though it felt as if, see, because these are just feelings, again, you got to make sense of this. You got to put it all together. Even though my feelings are telling me one thing, my Bible and my God supersedes this, because he tells me something different. And God is a man that cannot lie. So which one am I going to believe? Am I going to believe my feelings, or am I going to believe my God? I'm going to believe my God, because he's a man that cannot lie. And I know that my feelings are temporary. So I got to go to my prayer closet. I got to pray, and I got to never trust your feelings when you're grieving. That's the whole thing, because grief is tricky. Grief, your feelings are going to change every moment. You're going to go through a roller coaster of emotions. First, you're going to be up, you're going to be down, you're going to be high, you're going to be low. You're not going to know what you're feeling. You're going to feel a tornado of feelings all at one time, because that's what grief is. And you have to understand grief. Never trust yourself while you're grieving, because, for one, you don't know what you're feeling. Never be alone. Always have someone that you can reach out to. And for some of us, that's difficult. Like, not all of us have a strong support system. And this is where God comes into play. This is where, when you don't have that extra someone, you got to have a strong prayer life. Because, again, I didn't have a strong support system, but I got a strong prayer life. And I know that my God moves mountains for me. I know that my God, guess what? he sends angels. Okay, he sends that lady at the bus stop. He sent other people. Guess what, he sends me angels. So when you, oh, Holy Spirit, he sends people. He will send you angels. Never say that you are alone. He walks with you. Oh, oh, listen, I ain't going there with y'all because you almost had me go there with you.
Listen, I was getting ready to say, then before we started, he said, Holy Spirit, have your way. Sparkle said, my God, Tina, I am going to throw my shoe at you. You are teaching and changing lives. And you said Eliasa said, yes, he does. He walks with you and he talks with you.
Do
God is with
do he? And no, those, listen, I tell my daughter that every day. Those are not song lyrics, and that makes me cry because oh how he walks with me, and oh how he talks with, and oh how he tells me I am his all. And
you.
listen, and I believe that. Listen. I know Sparkle always talk about she his favorite child, but I beg to differ because honey, the way he talks
Oh,
to me.
talk about it. Exactly. You know, Tina, the thing about it is, I'm so blessed that you were able to do this tonight because the reality is, for so many people, we profess to have a relationship, but when the things of this world stand between you and your relationship with God, you got to go back and what the song say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. You got to go back and spend time and say, God, help me in my unbelief. God, help me to be stronger and understand my feelings compared to my faith. Because, like you said, if the word says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, your feelings, your flesh is going to tell you something different. But you got to know what you believe, you got to know what you trust in. You got to know that. And I love and appreciate. Honey, Sparkle said, Cynthia said, come on. Ilya said, true facts. Sparkle said, I am his all. You got
Mhm.
to know that. She said, girl, when you realize you his favorite, that's when you become unstoppable. The meditation and the prayer life, Tina, for people who don't know how to get started with meditation, how did you start?
Um, people think that there's some special remedy to, I mean, eventually you will work up to your own special meditation and prayer life and your own special remedies. I personally have conversations with God. The way I'm talking to you is the way me and him talk, but that's my relationship with him. Um how I started was 5 minutes a day. Take, I don't care what you're doing, turn everything in your house off. If you can't dedicate 5 minutes out of 24 hours of your day to Christ, then that's a problem. Take 5 minutes out your day, go sit in your bathroom or a quiet room by yourself and just silence, complete silence, and allow yourself to commune with God. Allow yourself, whether you're reading a daily bread, whether you're reading a Bible, whether you're reading a Bible app, talk to Him. Talk to Him, and then for the first 2.5 minutes, talk to Him, and the second 2.5 minutes, sit in silence and allow yourself to listen for a response. Start small. You don't got to start in big increments. Eventually you will build up to more and more time, because the more you sit with him, the more you're gonna want to sit with him. the more you're going to want to hear from him, the more you're going to want to listen for his voice, and you're going to want to spend time with him. See, me, I spend more than 5 minutes with him, but that's just me. That's where I'm at. That's my relationship. That's my walk. But for beginners, I would say, like I said, if you don't have 5 minutes and 5 minutes seem too big, take 1 minute. Take 1 minute. Take 60 seconds to just sit in silence with God. But start somewhere. Just start. Look, don't even put a time limit on it. If a time seems too big for you, don't even put a time limit on it. Just start somewhere. Just start.
That's good. That's good. Because what happens is we talk ourselves out of things because we feel like we're overwhelmed with whatever the parameters are. But if you don't
Correct.
have anything on it and you just start, then you have nothing keeping you from moving forward. Sparkle said, once you start, yes, you will crave that time. You will need to have it. Tina, as we close, I'm going to give you the spotlight to share with the people whatever it is you want to talk about, whether it's your prayer life, whether it's you see me, whether it is about feelings, whether it's whatever you have on your heart to share. I'm going to give you some time to share it. So here you go.
If I could leave you guys with anything, I would like to leave you guys with: love yourself, be true to yourself. Don't allow anyone to make you feel smaller than what you think of you. Go with what you feel about you. What you think you are is what you are. Your feelings about you is top tier. Don't allow anyone to shrink how you feel about you. Don't allow other people's opinion of you to become your opinion of you. Put yourself first, reflect on you, and see you first before you see anyone else. And those are my thoughts and my feelings to you guys for tonight. Thank you.
Ooh, I'm like Sparkle now. I want to throw something at you because that was good. See you. See yourself. Yes. Y'all better go ahead and get this
Thank you guys for
book.
having me.
Thing. Her chapter again is When Life Knocks You Down. Tina Wynn-Bridges. Make sure y'all get the book. Make sure y'all tap into these authors because I'm telling you, this conversation has been good, Tina. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we're getting ready to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, for being here. Come back tomorrow. We'll be back at regular schedule time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for another author. So make sure you tune in, but more importantly, go get that book. Get the book and read through these chapters because I'm telling you, you will, if this conversation blessed you, continue to read those chapters because you will continue to be blessed. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, Tina. Thank
Good
you.
night. Bye bye.